Okay, I am now recording, Coach Teresa. We're just going to take it from the top if that's okay.
You want me to do the introduction again real quick?
Yes, that's great.
Okay. Hi, I'm Teresa Thurston, and I'm part of this wonderful group, and just thankful that I met Rita. And not only is she my friend, my mentor, my coach, but she's helped bring me back out of my shell after being at home for 7 years with my son, who's had migraine literally for 7 years straight, every day, 24 hours a day. But thankfully, he's doing much better. He's in college now. Yeah, my kids are quite a bit older. My oldest is 24. My youngest is 19. But after being at home for so long, you kind of tend to lose yourself. And so not only has Rita helped me business-wise, but also even more so in the spiritual and personal. So I'm going to give it to you, Rita, and can't wait to hear what you have to say tonight.
Hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of your patience that is here live. This is definitely... Yes, if you be quiet, I'll stay quiet. All right, we're bargaining over here. This is definitely a newer season of my life, and something I'm very committed and dedicated to. However, so you see, I will show up whether my kids are here or not, or loud or not, or whatever I feel like it or not. You can find me here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific and then 9 Eastern, right? So, so just a little bit about where I'm coming from today, like why I'm sharing what I'm sharing with you today, because that is really important. So we're all on a journey, right? We're all here because we're seeking success. I will get into some really good details here on success habits and some of the specific things I do each day that I see and know are producing results, not only financially, but like Coach Teresa said, more importantly, we know that the foundation of our happiness and our success in this life has nothing to do with the dollar sign. We know it is what is within our heart. And at the end of the day, if everything we do, or the majority of what we do, is not serving our heart's purpose and, the purpose and the place we have to serve in this world, we will feel unsuccessful. We'll tend to feel stuck and lacking and like we're just missing something. And I know, because I have felt that way, and I still feel that way at times. It's not something that I believe ever just goes away. I hear Robert Hollis talking about it still on his calls, even the inner circle calls. So I know it's a trait of being human, and it's something that we've got to find our tools, right? Find our success habits that we can get into. And when I say a habit, what I really mean is where you do it without thinking of it, where you wake up and you go through your routine to where it's a flowing river, versus a really huge rapids and there's rocks all over and you're just bouncing and feel like you're kind of getting thrown everywhere, meeting everybody else's needs often. Sorry. Come sit with me. Come sit with me. I know. I'm very sorry. Daddy's going to be here in just a little bit. Can you sit with me here and drop it here? Okay. Lily, can you please help out? Okay. Okay. Come and sit down. Come sit down. Come sit down. Come sit down here. I know. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. So success habits. Let's get back. I'm just going to jump in. So I did a live today, and I did it on my personal wall. And there are a lot of details about that live that I do believe people don't see and don't realize that I'm doing when I'm doing it, that bring me more success now when I'm doing my lives. And when I say lives, another word for lives is sharing. I mean, that's just kind of another word. Like, you might not do a lot of lives. Maybe you do a lot of posting. So what this, buddy, can you sit down? So what this is going to do is help us get the most success of all of these steps that we're taking. Make sure we're taking the steps. And then kind of taking a look at the order as well, because we know that, say, in a recipe, it's important the order we put the ingredients in, right? We know that that can make a difference. It might not limit, you know, you making money, but to what level, you know, how much duplication are you going to be able to get? That's another really, really big success habit that a lot of people do not understand what the word duplication means. So I'm just inspired to really go into more detail on that and give real examples of how my team is duplicating. And when I say my team, it's kind of a really big picture view, right? It's a big vision. I do mean vision team if you are in vision team. But if you're not in vision team, I have a bigger vision than a network marketing company, right? We all do. We have that big dream and that big purpose that God is calling us to, and we know it's bigger than any company
I need the bag.
can be.
Mama,
And that's more really what
I need a bag.
a bag. Okay, we'll get you a bag. Okay, just a sec. Well, oh, you know what? Go in that door right there. So when I talk about that, the vision and the mission here and the dream and success and your dreams, you know, I really get big picture here, because that's what Melody and Robert has inspired in me to do and has coached me to do. And that's what's brought me my success, at the success I am finding. You know, what Freedom Mastery is, if you're in Freedom Mastery, it is a members group. If you're not in Freedom Mastery, that is okay, because this is a weekly inspiration call. And I, like my mentors as well do, I'm often inspired to invite people. And sometimes it's leaders, sometimes it's somebody that I might not even know. Or a new person. Maybe it's just somebody new that's expressed interest in mindset. So what this is it's a really, really amazing way for me to connect with people here on Facebook. We are all here on Facebook working. And it's a great way. It's given me an avenue and a map that I can follow to create something for me. Now, am I working in my network marketing company? Yes. Am I sharing that every single day? Yes. And am I getting paid from that on a regular basis? Yes. Weekly, monthly. My goal is daily pay, and that's what Robert Hollis has coached us on. Anybody that's in roberthollis.com knows his kind of circa MDC days, he coaches on multiple streams of income. Melody Ryba is my accountability partner for creating that stream of income, not MDC. It was a personal stream of income for me. And that's what Freedom Mastery is.
my money.
Oh, hey, it's okay. We'll give it back. We'll give it back. He's just counting it. Okay. Yes. It's going to be okay. Go sit down over there, please.
Let me.
Give it to Lily. These are hers.
No.
Please.
No, Lily.
I'll give you some, and then
No,
give the rest to
Lily.
her. Let me just. I'll give you some. I will. Here, Lily. Let me help him, because I need him. I need you to help him right now, and that's what we need. Here. Sorry, my phone just went. Okay. I'm so sorry. I know it's very distracting, ladies and gentlemen. I know gentlemen will be watching the replay. So what I was going to say is, a lot of times on these live calls, you will often see that it is a lot of moms, grandmas, a lot of women. This group, I do want to mention, though, is open to anybody. This is a group that we can invite anyone to that we believe would find value. I just have, you know, the gentlemen that are members of this group just say that either they're working or they prefer to watch replays. So thank you, as you're watching the replay later, for your patience here with us tonight. So, you know, you see the situation I'm in here, right? This is not something that we predicted. It wasn't something, you know, I had totally planned a different picture for this. But this is why Melody helped me create what I created. What this is, what Freedom Mastery is, and what just creating something for you. I called my group freedom mastery, but this is a mindset community. Lily, I need your help, please. I need you to come here. Do you want to sit with me? Will that help? Okay, I need you to please come into the world. I will. Hold on, this is. I can give you the. All right. We're gonna replace the money. She knows it's gonna get replaced. Okay.
Mom. What money Daddy has?
When Daddy comes home, he can give you some more money.
No.
So, you know, we as moms, we want our freedom, right? We want to create freedom for ourselves despite the place and the calling we have as a mom. And I really want to say, because of our place and our calling as a mom, because of the influence we have on our children, especially if we're a single parent, or if, you know, if it's just that there are things there where, you know, there's multiple people. I was raised by maybe 4 or 5 different people through my life. So you just never know, you never know where somebody's come from. But what our goal right now is to create a freedom for ourselves and our family, through these success habits here that I'm going to share with you, and help others do the same. And what this is I know, y'all are having problems. So, and what this does, you know, just real simple explanation is you create something for yourself without having to invest in anything. I mean, Facebook is free. A fan page is free. The groups are free. Google Drive links are free. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of what I share are Google Drive links. I have very minimal overhead for my business. I mean, I can count on one hand the amount of bills I have for my business, and it's minimal. Anybody can do it. Anybody can. And that's why I'm so excited to share this with you, because not only will this help your business if you're in a company, but it will also help create a foundation and start something that's for you, or build on something. If you've already got something going, it's going to help build on that. It's going to help build on that. Okay, they're going to help build on that. Okay, so I did an inventory, basically, of what I do, what I have gained from Melody's accountability course. And if you don't already have it, Robert Hollis's course, Mastering the Science of Getting Rich, that is what this group and community is based on, that course. If you're in Freedom Mastery, there are more courses in the files. I was kind of like in the go the extra mile mindset when I was coaching with them, and I went ahead and did a wellness course, and also a greatness course, more spirituality, a little bit in there. So you can find those in the files, in the Freedom Mastery group. And then what I'm going to share with you now, you know, if you have any questions too, please, you can feel free to come out and ask. That's the one thing that I love about getting this off the ground, is that we have a close community, and it's comfortable for everyone to talk and to come out and share. If you have inspiration or obviously questions as well, please feel free to do that.
Do it.
Are you coming out, Dee Dee? I see you're unmuted. It's okay, buddy.
Do what?
Hi, were you coming out, or I just saw you were unmuted? You're not saying anything, but I just wanted to know if you needed to come out.
Oh no, I'm just listening.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll go ahead and move on. Let me make sure. Okay, there you guys are. I lost y'all. All right. So success habits. And again, this is habits that in the beginning, they were not habits. In the beginning, when I started doing these things and putting these things into order in my day, they were not habits. They seemed to be distractions. They seemed to be things that were taking me away from my family. Lily. They just seemed to be, some of them even unnecessary. Yeah, baby. I know. You can't make people stop though. and you know, some of them I didn't understand where they were coming from. And honestly, I won't have time to explain the reason behind all of these right in this call. My purpose really is just to get into your hands an action plan that you can use every day where you're going to get measurable results, because Melody is the one coaching me and helping me with my numbers. I'm not a numbers person. I don't like going into the back office or to my bank account and doing that. I don't like it, and I'd just rather not do it. But she's been helping me see the reason why, and also to help me put meaning behind the numbers, right? So before I share anything, the very, very first thing I did before any of this fell into place for me was I created a big picture vision. I actually visualized every single day for a period of time. It was over 100 days, I know. I visualized in the morning and often as well at night, and often as well in the middle of the day as well. Like as much as I could, that was my goal every day, was to see, feel, hear, smell, everything, my dream. So until I heard the ocean, until I smelled the salt water, until I could smell the flowers, and until all that became a reality to me, all of these things that I do on a daily basis didn't mean anything, because all they were little checkbox I was making in my calendar. And, you know, I'll show you my calendar because it don't let it scare you. I do tend to write a lot down, and it's Robert and Melody that have helped me, inspiring me to do that. But this is what my calendar looks like. So I have most of the things in my day scheduled out in the week that I know is coming and that I'm drawing to me, right? This is what's happening. Like tonight's call, mandatory. But there are some things that are more flexible, and those are the things that I'm going to give you here. Here today. And the key part of this is finding the pockets of your day where this is easy for you to get these in. Because again, making something a habit means making it comfortable, simple, efficient, easy. Like, you want people to look at what you're doing, and this is a Robert Hollis quote. You want them to look at what you're doing every day and say, wow, that looks so easy. I could do that too. I could do that. You never want somebody to look at what you're doing if you're wanting duplication, again, in your business or your, you know, team, your coaching community, whatever it is you're working in. Typically we're working to duplicate, because that's the only way the future's really helped. We're duplicating, right? If we're teaching no one else, we're teaching ourselves and our children for sure. Okay, so these are the things that I've just been inspired to do, and everything seems to be a little bit more quiet here, so I'm going to go ahead and get in these. So every day I wake up and I give to me first, and I've shared a lot about this in the group. There are other courses in there and recordings that I share a lot about more in depth. Or you can go into files, and there's a morning ritual file in there, and that's everything I use for my morning ritual. I have found more things now along the way, because these are all the tools that I received over a year ago. And so now I've grown a little bit in some areas, and I add things and I recycle things out sometimes too. So there will be seasons where, you know, you'll find you tend to do one thing, like you'll do the I am statements more than you maybe listen to the God memorandum. So there will be times where you might do one thing more than the other, but the point is just being consistent with giving yourself that time, no matter what it is you're doing, right? Don't worry about what you're doing. You know, just make time for you. And I'm going to be honest, it's really uncomfortable at first, you know, and that's why you hear people say, I don't meditate, because it's really difficult to be still for a while. And it's just because we just haven't created that habit yet. That's it. That's all it is. It's a habit. And the longer you sit with yourself at a time, the easier it's going to be for you. And I just want to let you know that I'm here and that you can be accountable to me. Right, Barbara? Coach Barbara's right. Self-care is not selfish. And, you know, that's one of the things that I want to be accountable to you for, because that's one of the main issues that I see people are messaging me struggling with is that personal time, that prayer time, that meditation, that quiet time, where people are often like, well, what do I do? And what do I think about? Nothing, just nothing. But if you can't do that, there are all audios and, you know, all kinds of things that can help you create that habit a little bit better. And again, those are all in the morning ritual. But that habit is the most important. Not gonna lie. Until I got that morning ritual down, nothing else mattered. Again, the morning ritual and the vision, just creating that powerfully real vision. Because, you know, and I think about it when you say you taste success, right? If you say, oh, I got a taste of success, right? Melody likes to say the worst kind of success is little, because it's just that, I want more. How do I get more? And that's where the duplication comes in, right? So I just want to confirm to you that these things that I do are nothing different than Robert and Melody, what they do. And I always encourage everyone to go to their courses and, you know, have them as accountability partners as well, because they do so much for me. So I start my morning with my morning ritual, and from there I go right into my sharing, because I'm so inspired after my morning ritual, and my children are not awake yet at that time. And I know they're not going to be awake yet. It's the only time of my day that's predictable, the only time. And when I started coaching with Melody and I decided to be accountable to her, I knew that I was going to have to make that decision to go through that difficult season of getting up in the morning. You ask anybody that knows me for a long time, and they will tell you that I am not a morning person. Now I say I was not a morning person, but you can become anything you want to be. So morning person, it's the same thing. I can't tell you how that changed in me. But I can definitely confirm that these days I don't wake up with an alarm. It is absolutely a natural wake up call I get very early every morning, and very inspiring. I've you know how you hear manna manna comes in the morning. I know there's Bible verses about that, and that there's reality in that. That's I just have to share that. So. And then after I share, so the way I share, I'm going to give you some details here because this matters as well. So the first thing I do, because I want to get this out there first, the earliest, so that it can so they can touch the most eyes and the most faces, right? So that's my fan page, because I control my fan page, right? I can buy a $20 ad and get 200 new people to my fan page in like 4 days. So I control my fan page. So if you want a business or an organization that you have control of, then you want to have a fan page. So if you don't already have one, I want to encourage you to create one. Yay. And this is now an inspirational fan page, not a product page. And here's just where I'm just going to mention it real quick. I know you see people that have product pages, and I know you see people that do that, which is fine, and that's fabulous, because that's what their like calling is right now, right? That's their passion, to promote the cannabis industry. I know my heart's in it as well. So you see those people. So if you feel that's your life, like cannabis life, that's your choice to do that. My goal is to be as duplicatable as possible, to duplicate Robert Hollis and Melody Riba's success. Multimillionaires, millionaires. And again, we know that it goes way further than the money. But duplicating is key in creating that, any part of that. So I really, my goal is to be as duplicatable as possible. So what you can do to see this is you can go to Robert Hollis's page. You just go to his personal profile and you'll see his fan page listed on his personal profile. Same thing. They've been having a hard time since I started the call. And then also go to Melody Riba's personal page, and you can then see her link to her fan page. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They create a business structure that is duplicatable and that they also have control of. Not that they're guessing every day. How many people are going to see my post? How many leads am I going to get? Or how many prospects am I going to find today? Like you shouldn't be asking that question ever. So another way I share is gifting. So what I do after I post to my fan page, and when I post to my fan page, I do want to make it a point too that I really share that out as much as I personally possibly can. So I'll share it to my personal page, my group page, my other group. Along the years, I've had a couple of other groups. I was a photographer for years. I share to anywhere I legally can, right? Where anybody's not going to ban me. I'm not going to share to somebody else's group unless I ask them. And I do that. there's time, there are active groups that I'm active in, that from time to time I'll say, hey, I have this amazing post today, can I share it? Or I have a friend, I would love to share her post to this group. So you know how sometimes you look at your shares and there's some you can't see where it got shared to? It was a private group, and sometimes even a closed or secret group, like that kind of stuff. So you can share that in anywhere. And here's the deal, anybody else can either. Yeah, that's so amazing, because now that you can go to my fan page and just look as an example, it's the Journey to Freedom, and my group and fan page are called the same thing. So you'll just have to look at which one's a page and which one's a group if you're looking for an example. But you can look at the images, you know, the post, and all they are is inspiration images. I don't post selfies on there. I share my personal stuff from my personal Facebook page. I do share that to my fan page, because as far as I'm concerned, and this is what Robert and Melody coach as well, we want our personal life and our business life to overlap. Like, there's no way it really can't if we're living from our heart, and, you know, really sharing life and whatever it is we're sharing from our heart, you know, that we really want to be open. Now, safety is an issue. I know I've talked to several people that are concerned with safety, and they have their personal profile on private. Now, that's your call. Safety first, obviously. That is my thing, absolutely. And here's where anybody can do this. Even if you got a locked down personal profile and you feel uncomfortable putting your life out there into the world, you can create a fan page, and you can still start creating something for you, and not have to be afraid that, you know, somebody's going to see a post on your personal page and like start arguing with you, or whatever the fear that is there. Oftentimes it's a legit fear. It might be something with a previous relationship, that kind of thing. So, you know, we got to let everyone make their own decisions on what's comfortable for them. So as your team is coming in, it's really amazing to be able to say, hey, you don't have to post on your personal profile if you want to. This is what we have set up, and you can take a look and you can do the same thing. And it's amazing. So how else do I share lives? I make it a habit to do lives. I don't do as many as I used to do. There was a time last year where I did them every single day for like periods of time. And I would absolutely suggest that to you if you have never done lives, and if you're just getting started with the live streams. It would be very, very beneficial for you to do those over a period of time consistently. And you know, what Robert and Melody recommend to share in the course, you know, Robert's course is The Science of Getting Rich, to share that, to read that each chapter, and you share from each chapter. I have examples on my page. I just did chapter 5 today. And you can just kind of see an example of, and you want these share lives that are coming on your personal page. This is on your personal page. If you want the most audience, you're welcome to do them on your fan page. But I know, because I've done the Hollis all those social media courses, and they made it very clear that the fan page doesn't promote you as much as a personal page will promote you. So when it comes to your lives, those are to share value, right? So we want the most people to see them. So those really want to be on your personal page. So you're going to gain the most eyes, the most audience, and you're getting the most out of your time, right? We want to impact the most that we can here, because that's the purpose. Okay. So next thing. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm creating my office space. You know, Facebook is kind of the new cubicle. You kind of see it like that. I mean, obviously this right here is Zoom, right, guys? Is it looks like cubicle. This is like the online cubicle space, and I think it's awesome. And you can go to someone's profile, and you can really quickly see what they're all about. You can see what they feel like. You can even usually see exactly what they do, what they like, how many kids they have. Like, some people think it's scary. I just see it as a beautiful thing, and I see it as something that can help us here in our creating our atmosphere and our environment and what we want people to feel. And that's kind of when I use, a lot of people are like, well, what do you share? How do I know what to share? And, you know, my goal is just to make them feel better than they did before they saw that, whatever. And I'm usually inspired a lot through my morning routine and whatever I'm listening to that morning. Another thing in my morning routine is listening to personal growth and development, and I'll often listen to Robert's or Melody's replays and take notes. And that's another thing you can share on lives. Any kind of notes that you take from courses that you're doing as well. And okay, so creating that atmosphere. So how do I create that? How do I create my community? Obviously, you really want to be conscious of who your friends are. You know, you'll get to a point where once you hit about 2,000 friends, where Facebook is, and I don't know where it happens, but somewhere around there, I remember it happening. All of a sudden, you're going to start getting all these friend requests, like I'm talking crazy. You're going to be like, what? This is what I always dreamed of. And because, you know, that's kind of the shift where it's like, okay, I get to, I'm not looking for people anymore. However, if we see it more as connecting, right? We're building a community. Then what happens is you make it a habit to connect with new people every day. No matter if you have 5,000 friends or 8,000 friends. Robert Hollis connects with new people every single day. So does Melody Riva. They never get that 5,000, I'm done attitude. And that's where I think I see people tend to start to get stuck, because they're like, well, I have 5,000 friends and I got 2,000 followers and I'm good. And things will start to trickle down and slow down a little bit. You'll lose momentum is what will happen. Because once you get these into place, I don't know, it was maybe 2-3 weeks. I absolutely it was measurable differences I was seeing. So these are absolutely habits that bring success, great success to our life. So as I'm creating that atmosphere, I'm inviting friends. So I feel more comfortable if friends are like me. I don't know. You probably feel the same, right? Like people that like the things that I like, moms even more so that are maybe even traveling or homeschooling, things that I'm about. I even go into my network marketing group. That's a big connection group for us if you're in one of those kinds of groups, because there are already a huge audience that likes what you like, whatever that is in that group. So I encourage our team and myself, and you know, I've had my mentors encourage this of me, to be friends of friends, and you know, friends of friends in those communities that you are most comfortable in. So what that does is then it creates a really comfortable atmosphere to chat and talk. You're not worried about what to say. You have common interests. You can start every conversation with a compliment. Every single one. You can start with a compliment if that person is like you, because we love ourselves, right? We love new things about ourselves. We love being a mom. We love being a cannabis coach. You know, whatever it is that you do. Obviously you're doing it because you love it. So it's just a beautiful thing when you can start to talk to some other people and they love things just as much as you do. There's no loss of things to talk about. It's amazing. So when people say they have a difficult time conversating, I just often wonder if that's why. When I first started messaging here on Facebook, it took me years to see these names as people. I am not gonna lie. It took me that long, years, to actually see the names and the numbers as people, not just as likes and an audience. So it's very important to see the names as people and not names. And to really, when you go to their profile, what I do, and this is how I know what gift I'm going to share with them, right? Because after I give them a compliment in Messenger, hey, your profile is so inspiring, Teresa, amazing. It just makes me want to be your friend. I hope that's okay. I sent you a friend request. I would love to also share this gift. It's been very powerful in my life. And I will share usually Melody Riva's Power in Words or Robert's book. And, you know, Melody stresses this as a habit because it creates the law of reciprocity. If you start a relationship, and if you think about it, it's pretty common in the real world. If you go to someone's house and maybe they just open their home or something, you're going to bring them a gift. Even if they didn't just open their home, if you're going to visit somebody, oftentimes you want to give our friends something. You know, I went to see Coach Barbara and she gave me a gift, and we give gifts to friends all the time. So there's no difference when you're in Facebook and you make a new friend to lead with a gift. It's very powerful as well in the background, because what happens is, just gonna let you know, you're going to get people that are very confused and wonder, why did you just send them that? Or that just don't like it. And like, I just don't appreciate you sending me that. And it's okay, because that's our sorting tool. And that lets us know that we just need to bless and release that person. And thank you very much. And it really helps us sort of who we spend our time with. Absolutely. Because again, our time is valuable, right? We're here to help support our dreams, not to be taken away from our dreams, not to have time sucked away from our life. That's not what Facebook is for. And for many, that's what's happening. And I did it for myself for years. Personal testimony. So there is another way, and this is the other way. This is the beginning of it. Obviously, this is a system that I've been following for over a year. There's way more in depth than what I can possibly share here with you. And honestly, we are working on something else that's to come at some point. I don't know what it will be or what it's going to look like, but I'm getting asked a lot of questions, and it's yeah, but you gotta ask Dada. He's in charge of the M&Ms.
Stop bothering Mom over here.
So I've been working with my mentor, to kind of creating the next step and what's next for me as well. And, okay, buddy. If they're in here, go ahead, buddy.
Jackson, come over here.
Thank you.
Where?
Come this way. Come this way.
Here.
So anyway, let me get back. There's a couple more things I didn't touch on, and then we can have question and answer. So if you have anything that you can think of that you want to ask, please make sure and write it down and let me know. So, okay, what is the next step? Or actually, that's what I wrote down, because this is what my mentor, Melanie, said. We should always be leading someone to the next step, right? So after we make our friends and we share a gift, another success habit that I have, and again, this is what Robert Hollis does, is posting on their timeline. Thank you for your friendship. And posting on timelines is just an algorithm, is just part of the Facebook algorithm, right? So the way Robert Hollis fits that in is, as you have a new friend, you welcome them on their timeline, and also birthdays. Every single day you can post on people's timelines for their birthday, right? That's like the free-for-all day that your neighbors can come in your yard and say, like, happy birthday, right? That's kind of what we do on birthdays. And that's the best, another opportunity to connect with people. And yep, thank you. And it connects you. What I'm finding is happening. Yep. Okay, don't say no to people. Is it helps connect you with old friends that you might not have talked. I know you might not have talked to in a while. With a system for doing it, right? Based on birthdays. So you're going to be hitting if you can create this habit well enough, you're going to be wishing happy birthday to most of your friends most of the year. It's just pretty cool. And it's another way that Robert also sorts, because when he goes to their profile, if they haven't been active for like a year, there's nothing there, there's no post, or people are posting and there's no responses, it's like a dead account, delete. It's a great way to filter your Facebook friends by doing that. So the next thing I wrote down was, what is that next step? Where do you want to lead someone to next? And that really is, we kind of get into that next big detail of what do I say next? What do I talk about? What do I talk to this person about next? And what I really, really want to inspire, and I'm telling you, this is going to sound really cliche, but the truth is that when we have clarity in what our heart's purpose is, we're going to feel very comfortable sharing that with people. We're not going to worry what they're going to think about us, or if they're going to say, oh my gosh, are you asking me for money, or what is this, a business? Or, we won't worry about how they react or if they will react, because that's our heart calling. Personally for me, what God has inspired in me is just feeding a lot of kids and caring for a lot of children that are not mine. And that's just my personal goal, that I will be able to feed and clothe children. And I have a specific number, and I write this down, and I know where these children are. I've looked and I've researched and I found organizations, and knowing where you're going to spend the money, if money is a goal, is very important. Very important. That will help us commit to these habits each day that seem mundane, that absolutely are mundane. But the fact is, if we don't make these mundane things a habit, they'll always feel a struggle to us. It will. So how do you create these habits? You do them every day, or Melody suggests 4 to 5 days a week, for 30 days in a row. So about 3 to 4 weeks. And what I'm asking you that is, if you do commit to doing this for a period of time, whatever period of time it is, you can choose 7 days, 14 days, that kind of thing, whatever's realistic and whatever's, you say, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do. Your choice. But what I want you to do is tell me. I want you to be accountable. Choose to be accountable to that. And send me a private message on Facebook, or you can email me, Rita, my email. And that's the first thing I check. I always want to let people know as well that another business habit that I've begun creating through my mentors is checking, old-fashioned habits that a lot of people maybe don't do anymore, or you think people don't do anymore. Successful people do. They check their email every day. They do those things that other people aren't doing. They're still doing those. And I've started creating those habits again, and it is absolutely bringing a return in so many ways. So today, I'll just share this as a testimony. In my routine, it's the same every single day. I don't even care the day of the week it is anymore, because I was committed to go the extra mile in creating those habits. So for me, I didn't say, well, I'm going to do weekdays, or I'm not going to work on Sunday, or I'm not going to log into Facebook on Saturday, because not that many people are on anyway. I didn't do that. I committed, and I said, whatever day it is, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get in my habits, and I'm going to make it. And committing at that level helped me so much, because then when there were days where I had to step away, there were life priorities that came up. It didn't even make a difference in my habits that I had created, right? The next day I was able to just pop right back into my habits, because I had already been doing them for so long that one glitch and I was back again. Where most of the time what we do is we either don't do these to the right amount, because to create a habit, it needs to be a good, you can't just, you could just do one person a day. I would recommend, if you're looking for a number, that you start with 5 of whatever it is, 5 new friends, ask 5 people to like your fan page, wish 5 people happy birthday, that kind of thing. If you need a number, and then what you want to do is gradually progress, and you want to raise that number from time to time. And that's where Melody held me accountable to doing that. And over a long period of time, she's been my accountability coach now for over a year. So accountability makes a lot of difference, and it's not always comfortable. I don't know, for me as an older, grown woman, it just felt weird to say, well, I'm accountable to someone. But I will say that it's helped a lot, and it's absolutely made the difference in my life. And I call Melody my angel mentor, because I do believe that she's brought me way more than money. She's brought me more than this platform to create something for me. When I'm talking about this, right, this is like what we're doing here on this meeting, all these things, again, obviously they're going to help you in anything you do, whatever you're leading to. All these steps are just going to create a foundation for that. So the beautiful thing is, if you don't know exactly where you're going yet, it's okay. And that's, when I started, I didn't know where I was going. I had no idea. I knew I had a lot of things I needed to just work through, and I had no clarity. So don't feel bad in the beginning, when you're on a new road or a journey, and there's not clarity, and there's not a map, and there's not a 1, 2, 3, step 1 to done, because that all comes to us as we're following our inspirations, and as we're following our heart. Those, the numbers and the papers and the people, God leads them to us. And I'm just going to end right there. And if anybody has any questions or just wants to say anything, please go ahead and come out and do so. And I hope that you might have found value in this. And obviously, any questions you have, you can message me and reach out anytime. There is no question that is invalid or unnecessary whatsoever. I do want to add one more thing on communicating with me, reaching out to me. And this is one of the things that Melody Riba actually had in her accountability course. If you, I want to support you. You know, I don't care what your lives are on, if they're on a product or if it's on a being grateful. I want to support you. So if you tag me in your live, or if you just personal message it to me, you know, once you go live, it'll say, do you want to share it? Just share it to me in personal message, or let me know in advance when you're going live, and I will come on and support and root you on, because, you know, Jessica can let you know. Jessica, if could you come out, by the way, and just share a little bit of maybe, you know, a testimony or experience of how you felt after that?
I absolutely have been following you, and every day I watch you, every day your posts, for just a few months now. And you, my dear, are so inspiring. You are so encouraging, and have literally just surrounded me in my life, and unknowingly, because we just actually started more talking, yesterday or today?
Yeah.
And yet I've been quietly watching you and observing you and all of your posts and everything that you're doing. And absolutely, the way that you've just wrapped your arms around me and supported me through things, I could never thank you enough for those things.
Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my goodness, I really do appreciate that. I do. And, you know, that's just so where your heart is at. You know, that's so beautiful. I was talking about your live that you did yesterday. Didn't you do your first live yesterday?
No,
Oh, no.
that actually, I think I've maybe done like 10, 15 lives before. Okay. But lives, for me, the first time I went live, I literally puked. I bawled.
Okay.
I was shaking. I bawled. Yeah. The first time I was just a mess. And then I thought, to click that button, it literally took me 2 hours. I came back in. I was like, I'm going to click it, And then I just couldn't click it. And then I was like, I got this. And then I finally did my live. And probably for about a week, because I've been on a spiritual journey too. And so for about a week, I was under horrible spiritual attack that was like, you failed, you did horrible, you said this wrong. And then I was like, I'm never doing it again. And then I was like, I got this, I can do this. I had a very powerful time that I spent reading in the Bible and praying and direction and discernment in my life. And I was like, okay, one more time, I can do this. And then I did another live, and then I was like, I didn't this time. I grew enough the second time that I did it that I didn't beat myself up about it, but I looked at it as a constructive criticism. Right. And I was like, okay, these are things that you can improve on. This is something that you can work on, and took it at that. And I was like, I did it, it's out there, and I'm going to improve. And then the next time I did it, I was like, I took it as a constructive criticism again, and was like, I'm going to do better the next time. I'm going to do better the next time. And so the live that you actually seen is like the woohoo, I'm improving. Oh, good. I'm doing better, that I felt more confident. I'm more able to, it's funny because like me off of live, I relate to you so much. I'm so smiley, and I'm happy, and I'm full of life. I'm singing, I'm dancing, and I'm enjoying things. And then I get on live, and I'm like, hi guys, you know? And so I'm slowly finding that I can be myself live. I can truly express parts of me that I'm not comfortable coming on live, but I'm seeing that slowly, the more that I speak from my heart, the more that I overcome that fear, which we all know fear is a liar, and everything that you want is on the other side of fear, everything. And I truly believe that wholeheartedly. I say that to my kids all the time. I tell that to myself when I'm doing something difficult. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And so stepping into that fear and doing better and getting better, I can see from my perspective and from myself that I am slowly improving. And I know you can't eat an elephant overnight. It's one bite at a time. So that's what I've been doing. And you know, like I said, that you have been very encouraging, inspiring and all of those things, because watching you and your positivity that you bring, I'm like, I can do what, exactly like you said, duplicatable. I can do what she's doing. And so that's been my journey shortly, I guess, with doing lives and with you in my life as well. So
thank you. That's so beautiful. What a testimony too, because it's just proof that in the beginning it is powerful what we're doing. You know, the way you felt afterwards and how you explained that, I felt that way as well, and still do from time to time. And I think we know that, right, the forces are not against what we see. There's so much out there as well. I think that when we realize how impactful this really is, what we're doing here, the mission that we're on here, you know. And then that was kind of the last note that I had really wanted to mention is the mission, and how when you really have that in mind, that big picture mission, and Robert was a great example of it. And you know, his was starting a network marketing company, but his mission was to help his wife. And it's important for us to always have that mission that is beyond a dollar sign, so that when we're in conversations with people, we can be authentic, and we can authentically say, look, my goal is to clothe 10 children in India or in wherever, or help 10 moms work from home so that they can spend more time with their families. You know, whatever that big picture is. And it just helps with our authenticity and sharing with people. And it helps, you know, since I've really gotten a stable mission and cause, you know, it really has helped with my habits, being consistent with my success habits and my daily habits, knowing that those are coming, that's coming to me. So anyway, yes, so I have a couple other little things here. I have some things that I'm going to be going live from time to time in Freedom Mastery as well, because I just, like, I have a lot of content, and it's just so much more to get out just than at 45 minutes a week. So I really want to continue adding more value. And if you're looking for more, I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you're going to be able to use to find success every single day. So reach out to me if you need anything, and you kind of feel like you have it all, and you're like, I'm doing everything, and I need something else, or what's next. Let me know. Want to read that to? Can someone read that to me? I'm afraid I'm gonna click too far around here.
Barbara says, one of my whys is to support 5 youth in Kenya through the Jeriani, did I say that right?
Nice.
Project that I am associated with.
Yep. Beautiful. I love it. And share that. I see Robert from time to time sharing his the fan page, and the organization that he's connected to is the Jesus Way. And you can always look up that group, but he shares that. That's actually on his profile, I believe. So that's my goal at some point, to have something like that, on my profile that I have created and been able to contribute to. So that's what this is. And I want to give that to all of you as well, and support you on, your journey that you're on in your own lives as well. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here, and reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, keep posting, keep following the group Freedom Mastery, and I can send you the link if you need it. You're welcome, Coach Barbara. And continue following that group, and then we'll meet back here next week on Thursday. Right? Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye, ladies.
Bye.